And finally, our valiant Secretary General, without whom this conference would not have been possible. Please put your hands together for Hafiz Dhanani.
Thank you, Yeoman. Good morning, delegates, teacher advisors, chaperones, and staff. I'd like to extend my personal welcome to each and every one of you. As Yeoman has said, my name is Hafiz Dhanani, and it's my honor to serve as your Secretary General of VMUN this year. What always strikes me as remarkable about every Model UN conference I attend is the incredible sense of idealism that you, the delegates, exhibit. And even though this sense of idealism sometimes can draw negativity and skepticism, I believe, just as the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, believes, that our sense of idealism is in fact one of our greatest strengths. Because if we can't imagine an ideal world, we will never be able to progress and solve the issues that our world faces. Over the years, the UN has been effective in resolving conflicts around the world, but at the same time, we recognize that there are many things that still need to be improved. But one thing that is very important to understand is that the UN isn't just some intangible body that exists. It's not just some organization that exists separately from the countries we live in. The UN represents not only world peace, but it represents the collective interests of our global community. So if we are unhappy with lack of action, if we are unhappy with bureaucracy, if we are unhappy with certain member states feeling that they are exceptions, we must take responsibility as member states for improving the United Nations. As youth growing up in today's world, we are inundated with negative messages from news stories all around us. Through the media, we hear about the recession, the fact that unemployment is the highest that it's been in decades. We hear about human rights violations. We hear about civil wars, dictatorships, and oppressed peoples. Clearly, there are problems in the world. Clearly, there are things that need to be changed. Now, in Chinese, the character for the word crisis has two meanings. One meaning is danger, but the other is opportunity. In 1975, when the United States was suffering from stagflation and a flattening GDP, optimism was low and the future looked bleak. It was at this time that Bill Gates founded Microsoft. And similarly, Steve Jobs rejuvenated Apple in the midst of the dot-com bust. Instead of viewing all our problems that the world has only as problems or as dangers, we can look to the future and know that for our generation, there is so much opportunity to make change in the world. And it doesn't matter what your interests are or what avenue you take. It could be through international relations, starting from your passion for Model UN, but it could be through working with applied technology through nonprofits or even through the corporate world. The bottom line is that this optimism is a mindset that we need to be able to make change in our world of opportunity and to make a difference. In our time, we have a chance to leave a lasting legacy, and we have a chance to work for something that is larger than ourselves and extends and will leave a legacy behind. But the problem is that when we see issues the world faces, especially on a macro level, it seems too difficult to do anything about these problems. It seems too difficult to have any influence. It seems too difficult, and so we are paralyzed by inaction. And so my message today is that the key is to focus on what you can control. You can control whether you attend a Model UN conference like you are today to learn about global issues and the diplomatic process. You can decide to take action and improve the situation of the homeless in your city. You can fundraise for infrastructure development programs in developing countries. And what I think you'll find is that if you focus on what you know you can control, you'll start to understand through this process, and only through this process, what ways of creating change are truly effective. But not only that, you'll be filled with confidence from the actions you take. And I think what you might just find is that when you focus on what you can control, you realize that your sphere of influence extends far beyond what you first imagined it might be. So we know that there are many things in the world that are very important, and then there are the things that we can control. If we can find the overlap between the two, we can immediately make a difference, and eventually that overlap will expand. We hope that VMUN is one of the important steps along your journey to reaching fulfillment, to working for something that is bigger than yourself, and for making a difference in the world. We can't wait to share this weekend with you, and it is with this spirit that we hope each and every one of you will represent your respective countries throughout the duration of your conference. Thank you.